You go from a 3/8 ounce weight to a let's say, a 3/4 ounce weight on your Texas rig. That 3/4 is going to really make some noise and really bang around down there. That's kind of an extreme, but I've seen a big difference, like between even a 1/4 and an 8 and 3/8. A 1/4 and 3/8, not that much of a difference, but down there on the bottom, that 3/8 is going to be making a lot more contact as you're kind of dragging it and pulling it along. That could be the trigger on some of those offshore fish. So next slide. We'll move on to the next one. This is a Shaky Head. The Shaky Head is my friend. I really like Mr. Shaky Head. It's been around since the early 80s, so it will fall into the category of old school baits. Spoiler alert for the next seminar. But we'll kind of talk about a little different aspect of the Shaky Head with old school baits versus what we're going to talk about here. This is more about how I fish it. And Shaky Head, most people are familiar with it, especially in this part of the country, but most people are familiar with the Shaky Head since they have been around since the early 80s, is just a ball head jig, typically like the one on the right, that's Texas rigged, threaded and Texas rigged on there so that it'll stay weedless. And the one on that, the traditional Shaky Head on the right that's threaded is not the greatest in brush, but it's amazing around rock, really good around rock. The one on the left is the Missile Baits Warlock jig head, totally different jig head shape, comes through cover very well, including rock, but it has a screw lock on it. And that brings me to the screw lock versus Texas rig debate. Now, who all in here throws a Shaky Head? Everybody, good. Who throws a Shaky Head with a screw lock on it? Who throws a Shaky Head that's threaded on? So there's a debate, right? Who's right and wrong? Nobody, right? Or are they? So I've messed around with both of them for a while. I didn't see your hand. What do you fish, Lester? Okay, there we go. Here we go. So the screw lock is awesome because your worm stays on there, right? It's not going to slide down. You're not going to have that problem. You could probably catch 20 fish on one worm sometimes. That saves money. That's convenient. That's fun. The screw lock does not move, right? So this is the worm from the picture. This is a screw lock. This is a missile. It's ours. So when you set the hook, what's going to happen? You've got to penetrate that plastic. I'm pulling down on this worm. This is not a really stiff worm. It's a Missile Baits magic worm, but you can see it takes a lot of pressure to pull that worm down so that that hook can be exposed, right? To set that hook. That was a lot of pressure. As opposed to, this is the other one from the picture. I brought them. This is the other one. So it's the same worm, but we're just going to try to penetrate that plastic. As you can see, I broke the worm. But the hook is already penetrated, and it does not take the same amount of force because this is going to give easier. The threaded ones typically give easier and slide down, which is part of the inconvenience of having them Texas rigged, is that they slide down. Well, when that worm slides down, it's going to allow that hook point to penetrate more. And when that happens, you're going to have better hook to land ratio, aka not as many fish jumping off. I say this, we sell a screw lock, I sell a screw lock jig head because that's what a lot of people want. I catch fish on our Warlock jig head, but once you know that you have to penetrate all the way through there, that's kind of a lot of pressure. I will typically Texpose. If I'm using a screw lock, I'm going to Texpose that hook, which means I'm going to rig it all the way through. Then I'm just going to take that hook point and barely skin hook the top of it so that all that's got to do is just kind of pop free, and then I can actually get a hook set. If I'm going to fish a screw lock jig head, that's the only way I'm doing it. That is the only way I'm doing it. Will you snag up a little bit more? You got it. but you will not lose near as many fish. And my guess is, and you can agree with me or not, Brandon, but the reason he does it is because he's caught a crap ton of fish on a screw lock, and he's caught a crap ton of fish on one that's threaded on, and I can tell you which one's going to be landing more fish. Is that not the difference? It's just trial and error. You know, you go catch 100 fish on a screw lock jig head, and I don't care how you rig it, you catch 100 fish on one that you thread. I promise you, the one that you thread, you are gonna catch land way more of those fish. You're not going to lose near as many. That's just the way it is. And then as we're talking about, I'll get into the hook set here in a minute, but as we're going through, 95% of the time, a shaky head is a spinning rod technique. 5% is a casting deal. I thought it was exclusively a spinning rod deal, and then I know a handful of guys that they know that's my go-to technique, and I use it on a casting rod. They're just more comfortable with a casting rod. They can control it better, all that. So if you want to use a casting rod, outside of skipping it, I don't think it matters. You just got to make sure you have the right action rod and all that, and you're not using too heavy a line. So it is a deceiving name when you talk about how to work it. So shaky head, you think you want to throw it out there and just shake the crap out of it, right? Not necessarily. Now the guys that I know from Alabama that were around the guys that developed the technique, I'll kind of talk about the guys that did develop it in the other seminar. They would throw it out there, get it to where they thought the cover was, let that line get nice and slack, not too much slack, but a little bit of slack in it so it's got a big bow in it, and they would sit there and shake it. Then they would reel up the slack and drag it a little bit until they felt some more cover. Then they would let that bow in their line, and then they'd sit there and shake it. And that's really where the name Shaky Head came from. I mean, you can ask William Davis and the guys that were kind of on the forefront. William Davis of Davis Bait Company, Will Davis Jr.'s dad, he actually has Shaky Head trademarked. He has the trademark for the term Shaky Head, but he just lets everybody use it because he said it's a waste of time to try to sue everybody. So anyway, William's a nice guy. But that's really how you can ask those guys. That's how it originally was designed. They started that technique, and that's kind of where the Shaky Head name came from. But really, to me, it's dragging is a big key to the Shaky Head. You can drag that shaky head, and then just shake it a little bit, and then just drag it, just making that bottom contact. A lot of fish that I catch on a shaky head are on the fall, so don't overlook the rate of fall, like as in which size head that you fish.